Worms Revolution takes the classic two-dimensional gameplay the series is best known for and merges it with 3D visuals. Past 3D Worms games involved roaming around freely in third person and lacked emphasis on terrain destruction. Team 17 developed a new game engine in order to bring to life fully destructible terrain in 3D. In many ways, the game engine reminds me of Little Big Planet. The way the smoke particles are rendered and the way the terrain is generated, textured, deformed, and presented in multiple layers almost makes me wonder if they borrowed some code or programmers from Media Molecule. One thing the engine thankfully does not emulate from Little Big Planet are slidey, floaty physics. When jumping across gaps and flipping up onto ledges, it all works quickly, easily, and accurately. I would probably compare it to the way Worms Armageddon feels. This is a very good thing. If you fail a jump, it's your fault and not the fault of a physics engine dictating the results. Unfortunately for Worms Armageddon fans, the one place where the physics will interfere is the ninja rope. The rope swings and bobs realistically, but the last thing the fans want is realism in this case. They want the crazy, stiff but bendable ninja rope that so many of them spent years mastering and developing custom game modes around. It's not likely that it's ever coming back. One of the centerpieces of the game is dynamic water, which can be used to push enemies off cliffs or into other strategic areas, as well as causing damage at the end of each turn while they are submerged. It's a surprisingly good addition to the gameplay. It never feels like a useless gimmick, and doesn't feel overpowered either. Another interesting addition to the game is the 4 different worm types that you can use.
The Scientist, Heavy, Scout, and Soldier. They all have hopes, dreams, and feelings too, you know. Whatever, let's kill something.
Soldier is the basic worm we've always known. Heavy is big, slow, and not easily pushed. Scout is small, fast, and can leap great distances and heights. And Scientists can heal the team and make advanced turrets and magnets. In past 2D Worms titles, the randomly placed decorative objects were considered part of the terrain. They would often get in the way and you would be forced to destroy or cut through them. In Worms Revolution, these decorative objects are now physics objects and can be easily moved out of the way through direct attacks or items like telekinesis and UFOs. They can be repositioned to make bridges, and if destroyed, many of the objects burst into water, napalm, or poison gas. The tutorials and single player are narrated by Matt Berry, who plays the fictional wildlife documentary maker Don Keystone. He is portrayed as being constantly mocked and misunderstood in his attempts at filming wildlife, and the worms are no exception.
I have yet to stumble across such a vicious and coldly calculated creature as the worm. Scoff ye not. They laughed at the man who claimed pigs could drive cars. Admittedly, that was me too, and I accept responsibility for Hammergeddon.
Somewhere along the way, he isn't just filming them, he's teaching them. And not with much respect either.
I look at you and I barely recognize that eager, young rookie worm that impressed me not so long ago. You know why? Because it wasn't you. Sorry, I was thinking of someone else.
Probably the biggest disappointment with the game is that there is an overall lack of terrain environments, 4 in total, and additional ones are being sold as DLC in a season pack for $15. That's 4 terrain types for the same price as the game itself. I have no problem with developers wanting to make more money, but it would have been better to have charged $30 up front and then continue to add terrain types in future updates. This DLC will likely split the multiplayer user base. At the end of the day, it's a Worms game, which means multiplayer fun is sure to be had, but I wouldn't quite say it's the revolution that the name implies. It's good to see some new ideas added to the mix, but I foresee most of the fans will still be waiting for something more.
You deserve a medal for your work here today, but you're not getting one.